The Lord of the Rings getting its own land at the Orlando theme parks has been one of the most rumored stories of the past 12 years. Since 2010, there have been countless news stories, forum posts, and rumor videos, but could Universal Orlando's upcoming theme park Epic Universe finally seal the deal? Let's dig into all of the rumored concepts and what rides set in Middle-earth were actually being developed for Epic Universe in today's news update. The first stories about the possibility of a land based on The Lord of the Rings came out in 2010, just 2 months after the first Wizarding World of Harry Potter land opened at Islands of Adventure. These stories stemmed from a guest survey that was floating around. It asked users which possible theme park lands they would be most interested in being added to Universal Orlando. One of the answers was The Lord of the Rings. The survey described this hypothetical land as a world unlike any you've ever visited before. Walk as a human among dwarves, elves, orcs, and hobbits, all faithfully recreated and portrayed in the spirit of the original characters as they appeared in both the books and the movies. In this land, you'll experience one-of-a-kind rides and attractions that bring to life some of the most memorable experiences of Tolkien's world, including Bilbo's Hobbit Hole, the Fortress of Isengard before it was destroyed, and even the dark world of Mordor. Of course, we can't put too much stake into guest surveys, but it showed that Universal was wondering if there was interest in the concept. It would be 3 years before the story picked up steam, now with rumors of both Universal and Disney supposedly signing contracts for the theme park rights. The Disney rumor had a land being added as part of California Adventure's overhaul, giving them an immersive land to compete with Universal's Harry Potter worlds. The Universal rumor had a section of Toon Lagoon being rethemed at Islands of Adventure, an idea that would resurface again 7 years later. A legal battle over the rights between the film studio and the heirs of J.R.R. Tolkien, which had been going on since 2012, finally seemed settled by 2017. This sparked a new wave of rumors for the possibility of theme park licensing. Around this time, Amazon began talks to create a television series, which was secured a year later. 2018 saw an explosion of rumors about Universal securing the rights and planning a massive theme park land in Orlando. A story about their next theme park for Orlando in the blog Disney and More was picked up and reported on by dozens of outlets, more than a year before Epic Universe was even announced. That story said that a Lord of the Rings land is being highly considered for one of the lands of this fourth park. And as we would later find out, they were 100% correct. Jump to 2020, just a few months after Epic Universe was officially announced, and Theme Park University reported that Universal was quietly working on a Lord of the Rings land. Once again, though, this rumor was for a retheme of Toon Lagoon in Islands of Adventure, just like Orlando Informer reported 7 years earlier. The Orlando Informer story suggested the Toon Lagoon retheme would contain elaborate walkthrough recreations of the Shire, including Bag End, the home of Bilbo Baggins, as well as a couple rides. The concept from Theme Park University in 2020 mentions not only retheming Toon Lagoon, but removing Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls and expanding the Popeye Barge ride to be twice as big. It would also be modernized using newly patented technology to control the movement of the rafts using magnets under the water. This could create better show control, so you're not reliant only on the flow of rapids for movement. A couple other ride concepts were also rumored around this time, including one that sounded like a Spider-Man scoop vehicle with the ability to go upside down or be suspended from the ceiling. It seemed as though multiple concepts were being dreamt up, perhaps as pitches, before the rights were even secured. Which brings us to today, where Screamscape is now reporting that a Middle-earth land is being planned as the first expansion for Epic Universe in Orlando. Just as reported back in 2018, we do have proof that concepts were being drawn up for Lord of the Rings between 2018 and 2019, as it is listed in multiple theme park designers' resumes and artists' portfolios online. If the expansion rumor is true, there are two main expansion plots set aside at Epic Universe. The first is located between Super Nintendo World and the Universal Monsters Land on the left side of the park. This plot is only 7 acres in size. The other expansion plot is much larger at over 20 acres and is located on the right side of the park, just below the Wizarding World area. From rumors, supposedly Universal was reserving this massive space, which would become the largest single land in the park, in case they were to secure the rights to another Potter-size intellectual property. If there ever was an epic property, I'm thinking The Lord of the Rings would be it. Based on some of the concepts being designed in 2019, we do have an idea of what they were planning for this massive land, at least back then. The land would contain 2 main areas with a total of 2 e-ticket level attractions, as well as some smaller rides. One section of the land would be based on Hobbiton, with a part devoted to Bag End. A river would separate that area from the second, larger area within the land. Guests would take a bridge across the river, revealing the grand structures of Rivendell, as seen in both The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. As you walk between the structures, gigantic screen-based windows would extend the world even further with lush waterfalls and scenery that appear to be outside and go on for miles. This massive land would contain multiple shops and at least one large dining location. One of the e-ticket attractions was designed as a boat ride with mostly indoor scenes. The larger attraction, named The Fall of Gandalf, looked to possibly be a flying vehicle ride. One other concept for a small attraction was named Escape from Moria, and there would have been an expansion space for yet another ride later on. These plans were designed in 2019 after the 4 main lands of Epic Universe were already locked in, so it seems like they were already considering this for an expansion when the park was announced in August of that year. If a Middle-earth land is still being considered for an Epic Universe expansion, plans could have changed since 2019, especially now that the Rings of Power series is debuting on Amazon Prime. Now that we're all caught up on 12 years of Lord of the Rings ride rumors, we will keep you up to date on any additional news we hear on this possible expansion for Epic Universe. See our Epic Universe playlist for continued construction and rumor updates for everything we know about this new theme park. Be sure to subscribe to never miss an update, and if you like what we do, consider joining our Patreon for exclusive information and early access. Thanks for watching. See you next time.